Hello, my name's Ian Gray. Welcome to episode 131 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. And in today's episode, we're talking about Amazon Live. And I've got Chris Giles on the show to talk about this, so we'll be with you just after this.
Welcome to the Confident Live Marketing Show with Ian Anderson Gray.
Helping you level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of confident live video.
Optimize your mindset and communication and increase your confidence in front of the camera.
Get confident with the tech and gear.
And get confident with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Well, hello, it's Ian Anderson Gray here. This is episode 131 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. Unfortunately, my Rodecaster Pro has died, so you're going to have to put up with my horrible audio today, but it shouldn't matter too much because today's topic is really, really exciting because we're going to be talking about Amazon Live. If you've not come across Amazon Live, this is a live streaming platform baked into Amazon, and it's a way to sell products. I'm not going to say any more about it because I don't know a huge amount about it. I've been streaming a few times, I've played around with it, but I've got a real expert on the show today, Chris Giles, and I can't wait to introduce you to him, and he's going to be sharing his knowledge today on this show. Well, today's episode is sponsored by my good friends at RESTREAM, and actually RESTREAM is awesome because it allows you to broadcast directly to Amazon Live. There's a few little hurdles you have to jump through. This is not RESTREAM's fault. This is just, we're going to be talking about that. You have to fiddle around with RTMP keys and things like that. But it allows you to stream to not just Amazon Live, but YouTube, Facebook, and all these other places all at the same time, and bring in guests and do lots of cool things. So here's a little bit more about RESTREAM.
The Confident Live Marketing Podcast is proudly sponsored by RESTREAM. RESTREAM is the complete multi-streaming suite for entrepreneurs. It's the easiest way to broadcast live to over 30 destinations at the same time, including Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and so much more. RESTREAM Studio makes it so simple to stream directly from your browser, bring in guests and add your branding, videos, and graphics, and view and highlight comments from your destinations, all at the click of a button. Take RESTREAM for a test drive and get your first month completely free at iag.me/RESTREAM.
Awesome. Do check out RESTREAM. They are awesome. I use RESTREAM for all of my shows and I love them. Well, it's time to bring in Chris into the show. I'm very excited about bringing Chris in. He's started out actually as a mobile DJ and entertainer with a background in audio engineering, which began in the local church as a teen. After spending the last 15 plus years on the road around the country as a DJ and audio engineer for events of all types, guess what happened? 2020 happened, and Chris shifted his focus and took his love of event production and moved into the live streaming of gaming content, tech related topics, and providing virtual tech support to those in the online universe. Currently, as a content creator, live streamer, and producer, he is going live to Amazon Live, YouTube, Facebook, and anywhere basically that takes a video feed. And he helps those getting started in live streaming and gaming to avoid the confusion that being new to tech can bring, so they can elevate their performance and shorten the time frame required to launch their online endeavor. Welcome to the show, Chris. Let's roll out the red carpet. Great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining. Now, just before we started recording for the podcast, you were telling us you're from Charlotte in North Carolina. How are things out there for you?
So far, so good, man. Nice, still warm. Summer's still here for a little bit longer, so, can't complain, man.
Yeah, well, you could, as I said before, you could complain, but we're not complaining on the show. This is all positive, and it's a beautiful part of the world. Thank you so much for joining. So, I'm just kind of interested in your background. Do you think, you've got this kind of quite a tech background, but also a very creator background, which is similar to me. I trained as a professional singer. I've always been involved with technology, and then the two kind of came together in the world of live streaming. Do you feel that's kind of the same for you, that the two areas of your life kind of merged together?
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Like I got into it for fun, man, because it was what I was already doing live, getting paid to do, and so I was like, hey, you know what? These video game streamers seem to be having fun, and I love video games. So why don't I just play and talk to people and maybe make a couple bucks while we're at it,
Now that sounds cool. What kind of games did you play? Because my son is massively he's into Minecraft and other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, what kind of stuff have you been into?
Oh man, I'm into the Minecraft, any like first person shooters, so the Call of
Yeah.
Duty, Fortnite, anything. I got two 16-year olds, so pretty much anything they play, I'll play with them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome stuff. Well, that's cool. Well, we can talk a little bit more about how we can use Amazon Live in a minute, but I just can see we've got Challenge ITV watching from Vietnam. Great to see you. We've got Monty Weaver saying Amazon Live, yes. And we've got Call That Geek video saying Amazon Live, almost, mostly Amazon Shorts, getting ready for live. And how did he sit so still? I'm not sure. Who are you talking to, Scott? I'm not sure. Phil, hi Ian and the Mastermind, Chris P. Giles, definitely. And Johnny, yes, a reminder, your sound is not great today. Chris is very good. And my Rodecaster Pro has decided not to work. So apologies for my sound today. Hopefully you can hear me despite my British accent, but that's just the way it is today, unfortunately. So, Chris, tell us, what is Amazon Live? I tried to explain, but I don't think I did a very good job. So you explain to us what Amazon Live is.
Hey, for sure, man. I mean, me, honestly, I try to keep it simple. If you know Home Shopping Network or QVC, you're just watching and buying stuff, it's Amazon. It's Amazon's version of that. And so the cool thing about it is anything that's for sale on Amazon, which is I feel like anything in the world right now, you can go live on video and sell those products to people. So that's the simple of it, to keep it short.
Yeah, no, we like to keep it simple. And so you're effectively selling Amazon products. So you know, if you're an Amazon associate, this is their affiliate program, you're going to get a cut presumably of what you sell. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that works? Because you're obviously talking about products. Then what happens if you sell stuff?
Yeah, so the biggest thing with it is if for some creators, if you're already familiar with the Amazon Associates program, you're getting anywhere from 1 to 4% of overall sales, and so the live portion is really cool because what you do is you show up live like we are right now on the video side, and you actually get a carousel that they call it of the products under it. You can put up to 40 in there, and literally whatever you want to talk about. So for me, again, I talk tech stuff, so I try to keep it simple. So literally anything in my studio, I'll talk about it, I'll show it off, tell you why it's great. People are live asking questions, so you can say, hey, yeah, you should get this because XYZ, the better lens or the better light. And the coolest thing is all they have to do is click on those items in your carousel. They don't even have to buy that item. You get the cookie for 30 not 30 you get the cookie for 24 hours. And so if they decide to, hey, I don't want that camera, but they go buy groceries, boom, you're getting a cut of the grocery money. So it's amazing. Amazing opportunity, man.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, so you might have something on there that like costs $5,
Yeah.
and they may not buy it, but they might have clicked in it, and then they go out and they buy like an 80-inch TV, which costs like
Right.
$2,000, and you get the cut for the first 24 hours, which is amazing. So, like, I think that sounds quite attractive, but I mean, what are the reasons why we should think about looking at Amazon Live? I mean, can we make a reasonable amount of money from this if you do it well?
Oh man, I think it's a good one. The reason, a lot of times, the reason that we tell people that are creating content already, right? And no knock at YouTube, they got their game right, but we made money the first time we went live on Amazon Live, right? We didn't get rich the first time, so let's keep it there. We didn't get rich, but we started making money. YouTube and some of the Facebook and the other platforms, you have to work a little harder to figure out how to get money. You got to start a side business. You got to find the sponsorships and all that, which is all gravy. But again, the first time we went live, there was dollar signs in the back office. And so to me, that's one of those things is that it's a good quick start to get you in the game and get you seen by people. Also, I mean, if you're thinking YouTube, this is YouTube 10 years ago, right? It's the front end of it. I mean, I looked right before we went live. It was 12 people live streaming on there total at that moment. There was only 12 people live streaming. I can't even tell you how many people on YouTube are live streaming at the same exact moment, right? Like, so, I mean, honestly, just get in early and get in quick, man.
It's so true. Like, I remember in the good old days of Facebook Live when there weren't that many people. And actually, I think I was one of the few people to get on LinkedIn Live to begin with, and that was great because like no one else was doing it. And then the floodgates opened and spoiled all the fun. But yeah, get in there quick. So how do we apply for Amazon Live? And yeah, I mean, what is it an easy job? I mean, if you're an affiliate, can you just sign up? I mean, how's it work?
So that's the fun part, right? If you haven't done anything, then it's a process. But for a lot of creators that are already in there, you first become an Amazon associate. You apply for that program. That's just to be able to essentially get links and get commissions off of that, affiliate commissions off of that. Once you're an associate, you can apply for what's called the Amazon Influencer Program. That's where you'll actually get like a storefront shop where you can like put shopping list and send people there to go, hey, this is what I'm going out for the summer with, right? And put 40 things on there for people to look at and have somewhere to send them. Once you're an influencer, you go, it's iOS only. So once you're an influencer, you can download the app, the Amazon Live Creator app. On there, it gives you the option to apply for Amazon Live as an influencer. And then you just wait to hear back, man.
And that's the thing. You have to be a bit patient. I've heard it's a little bit like LinkedIn Live that you can apply once and then you might not get anywhere, but then if you apply again, you might get it. I mean, have you heard anything like that? Because a number of people I've spoken to have had that experience.
Absolutely, man. One of the actually it's one of the guys in the chat, Phil Hill, man. So many props because he kind of just followed us around the internet, Clubhouse, all the places while we were talking about it. And he tried. I'm not even sure how many times he tried. I know he at least tried once or twice beforehand, and he just kept going, kept building up followers, and it finally got in, man. And he got on there crushing it. He was one of the first guys we saw doing live streams from his motorcycle. Which was pretty crazy. We were like, who does that?
Wow, that's cool. Well, it's all about standing out. You don't want to get on Amazon Live or any live streaming platform and just be generic and boring. You want to be interesting and different. Think about your background. I don't know. You could be like Scott Ayres and wear like an orange wig, which is cool. Just stand out. And one of the things that you need to do when you apply, I think I'm right in saying, is you need to kind of put in where you're the social network where you've got the most followers. So you need to make a choice. Like if you, for example, for me, although I'm not a mega Twitter like guy anymore, that's where I've got the most followers. I've got like 50,000, almost 50,000 followers. So I put that in. If you're more on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, then put that in because they do look, I think, at how many followers you got and how engaged you are. So
Yep,
do
definitely on the followers, man. That's good. You know, a crazy thing. I don't even know if you heard this. They stopped doing Twitter not too long ago because I don't know if you met the Dealcasters. That's how they got in. Same thing. They're just huge on Twitter, and they were like, yeah, we don't do Twitter anymore. It's like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and then of course Facebook has to be a group or a page specifically. It can't be like your personal account. So it's pretty crazy.
So I snuck in there.
Yeah, you definitely snuck in there.
Wow. Now, one thing I'm not quite sure about with Amazon is I do believe it doesn't matter where in the world you are located, but this is only available currently in the US. It's Amazon.com. So if you're an associate on Amazon.co.uk or Amazon.de or Amazon.ca, it's not going to work. This is only on Amazon.com. And maybe at some point it will come out to those other places. But as long as you have an Amazon.com account, you've got an associate's account with Amazon.com, it is possible to do. I've done it, and it is possible. So definitely check that out. Okay, so we've applied. Now the next thing that I've looked into is there are different levels. And at the moment, let's just go. So I'm going to go to my phone now. And on the screen, and it says at the top there, I'm a rising star. Now I believe there are 3 different levels. Apparently, at the moment, I can apply for the next level. Which, well, you tell us what are the different levels and what do you get with each one?
Yeah, cool. So the bottom level that you said, you're rising star. You come in as a rising star. They give you a limit. I want to say the last time I checked, it was like literally all you had to do is stream for like 90 minutes. Because essentially, when you apply, they want to look to see if you did good content, right? They want to. Did you try? Are you actually just doing another show and just restreaming it there? They kind of look at those things now. So that bumps you up to insider. Insider, The cool thing about Insiders, once you get there, you have the ability to show up on product pages. So when you're live, you can actually say, I don't know, the mic I'm using now, or the Rodecaster. We're talking about the Rodecaster all day, right? If you put that in your carousel, you have the potential to show up on the Rodecaster page in the bottom corner. So people that don't know you will click on it and go, oh, who's this person, talking about the Rodecaster? And so that's really how you start getting visibility, is at that insider level. Top level is A-list. They're changing some standards. The last thing in the app it said is that you had to have like 2,000 followers and what was it, 5,000
Yeah.
shipped revenue a month.
Yeah.
And so some people are saying they took away the follower count, but we're still kind of, it says it in the app, so they're still kind of playing with that. But it's new.
That's cool. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to. I mean, I can see that Scott is saying, apply to Insider, Ian. Your placements will change along with your income. And I'm definitely going to do that. But I just feel that I want to do some dedicated Amazon Lives first, because a lot of the stuff I've done is kind of multi-streamed, and so I want to make sure I'm doing some I dedicated shows first. And I don't know what you think about that. We'll maybe talk about that about the benefits or the pros and cons with multi-streaming in a little bit. Thank you, Monty. Yeah, Rising Star, Insider, A-list. And Rob Charles is saying, is this available in the UK? Just got on to the broadcast. And yes, it's not available. It's only available, as far as I can tell, on Amazon.com, the US version of Amazon. But you can be anywhere else in the world as long as you've got an Amazon.com associate account. So Rob, do apply to that, but it's only available on there. Okay, we've talked about the different levels of Amazon.com, of Amazon Live, sorry. What do we need to broadcast to Amazon Live? You've mentioned the app, and I think this is where, I don't know, I just think it's a little bit clunky at the moment in my feeling. And I think it takes a little bit of getting used to. Can you tell us what we need to get started with Amazon Live?
It's funny. I feel like it's clunky to us because we're like we do this, right? And we're like, no, we don't want to do the app. But honestly, the simplest form of it is you literally, the app that Ian was showing you, you can literally open up the app and hit go live. And it's right in the app. You can use again, it's iOS only, so you can use iPad, iPhone. But you can go live directly from the phone. That's the simplest form. If you're already into like RESTREAM or ECAMM or anything like that, you essentially can do the RTMP from inside the phone app. There's a button in there that you can actually email yourself the RTMP information, put it into your software of choice, and actually go live like we are right now and just send it right there. So right there where it says, like, I think it's the third line, it says video form. Right now it just says iPhone. That's the default. When you click on that, it'll open up and give you the option to email yourself. Yep, external camera, and it'll say email.
Oh, yes, okay. So for podcast listeners at the moment, I'm just sharing my screen here on the Amazon Creator app. This is iOS only, unfortunately. I don't think Android users have got this yet, but hopefully in the future it will come. So you've got the option to just go live directly from your iPhone or iPad. Or if you choose external camera, what will happen here is you can then email or copy the stream key and URL, which you then put into whatever app you're using, whether it's something like RESTREAM or ECAMM Live or I don't know, OBS Studio, vMix. And I think you've used pretty much all of those, haven't you? I mean, I think you're like me. You like to dabble in all the different tools. What's been your experience? Because the other thing that I found, if you use your camera, it's dead easy. It's really easy. But if you're using a tool, you have to get the right specifications. Because like with Facebook or YouTube, you can just like almost bung whatever you like at it and it'll be fine. Amazon isn't like that, is it?
Nope. No, they don't have the, I guess it would be the decoder, encoder. They don't have it where they can switch it for you. And so you have to go right now 720 to them. So you can't do 1080 currently. So, whatever software you use, RESTREAM does it really easily. So that's honestly what I use. I use ECAMM to RESTREAM and then just drop it down to 720 so it can get it. And again, it turns out great. Apparently people still tell me my camera looks fabulous. To me, I'm looking at the 4K in front of me versus the 720 on Amazon Live. But, you got to do what you got to do, right?
It doesn't make your audio sound better if your microphone doesn't work, does it? That'd be great. If you've just joined, my microphone is not working, so we're having to use this other one, and it's annoying me. But this is really helpful stuff. And so, I believe if you're using ReStream Studio, so this is the web-based version, you don't need to worry about anything. Just you put in the stream key, and you're away. If you're going to use ECAMM Live to ReStream, you have to, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you have to buy what are called transcoding hours. So this means it's not very expensive at all. But basically, what ReStream will do is and this is only if you're streaming in 1080p. It will then downgrade your 1080p to 720. We're getting a bit techie here, but if you do want to do from ECAMM Live or OBS to ReStream and do it that way, there's a few extra hoops you need to jump through. Okay, well that's pretty good. So from the app here, we've got a thumbnail image that we can add. Presumably that's just the same kind of size as what it would be for YouTube. It's presumably 1920 times 1080. And then it talks about products. What do we do with with products? How does that work? How do we add products to this, and how do we actually use that while we're live streaming?
Oh man! So when you set it up before you can actually even set up the first one, you have to at least put one product in. So there's a couple different ways to do this, right? If you just hit add products, it will actually see, like there. So I told you guys to be an influencer first. So when you're an influencer, you get the ability to make your idea list show up on a website. So it's like Amazon.com/shop/ whatever your name is, right? And you have all of those lists. So that's the easy way. And so what I would do is go in there, it would show my list, and I would just add things based off of that list. And you literally just hit add to, I can't remember what it says, carousel or add to a show or something.
Add to stream, yeah.
So then you just hit add to stream. So one cheat that I've kind of told people is because you have the ability to search right there. There's a search bar at the very top that you can type in and look up items. So if you're trying to do it on the fly, somebody asks you something while you're live and you go, oh, let me add it to the carousel. You can do that. What I'll do before a show is if I know that I'm talking about lights and I don't necessarily have an idea list with all the lights, I'll just create one and go today's show. I'll go on the website, I'll add all the things that I want to add, and then the list will show up in this product section. And so I can just literally click through instead of searching for each individual light,
That's a good idea. And I have to admit, I only added this idea list today because I've been adding it all individually, and it's so much easier now because presumably, like with your Amazon lives, Chris, you're probably going to be talking about the same products fairly regularly, so you just want to add it in very, very quickly. I can see Brittany is saying thanks, Chris, for sharing, and Call the Geek videos is saying suggestions on sell products you don't physically have with the products you do have for live. So we can maybe talk about that in a minute, because I'm going to talk about, I'm going to ask Chris about how we do that. And Scott says, I need to know how you have your phone connected to your live stream, by the way. Okay. I'm using an app called Reflector 4, which is available for Windows and Macs, and it just, I think it uses AirPlay or something on the Mac, and I've just got it on the screen there, and I'm showing my screen in ECAMM. So, but there's lots of ways of doing it, but that's what I'm doing. And Call the Geek video says, cracks me up that Amazon Live is only on iOS and you can get it on Amazon Fire tablets. Yes, the irony of it all. So, okay, we talked about what we need technically, that's the word I'm looking for. How do we actually then make money? But when we're structuring the show, how does it work? What do people see with the products when we go live? Do they see all of them, or do we highlight them on the screen? How do we do that?
Yeah, so perfectly. If you can imagine this, right? So I'm using my descriptive words for everybody, right? So if you can imagine, there's you in your video, whatever you're doing, your lower thirds, anything that you're already doing on screen, and then at the very bottom, there's a row of products, and you can see about 4 or 5 at a time. You can do up to 40, right? What happens inside the app is you have the ability to feature a product. So if right now, I don't know, I'm talking about this mug, I can go under in the app, you can click on the mug, and in the bottom under your video, it'll say featured now, and we'll highlight that mug inside of your carousel so that everybody watching knows what you're talking about, and they can click on it on that spot. And also, when they click on stuff, you actually can see little bubbles pop up with the products in it, so that you know that people are actually checking out what you're talking about. And it's a scroll, so they can look through your whole carousel, even if you're not talking about the item, which is good because they may see something else that you're not talking about at that moment. Because I'll fill it up with 40 items, and I won't necessarily talk about all 40, but they're all related to what I'm talking about.
That's cool. So you can highlight them on the screen, but even if you don't highlight all of them, the people watching they can see all of them, if
Yep.
all of the products.
They can still, just scroll through. Yep.
That's great. Now, Call the Geek Videos was saying suggestions on sell products you don't physically have with the products you do have for live, and that just made me think. I look around and I think, well, I was going to say I don't have that many products here, but actually I do. It's ridiculous. But for people who don't maybe have that many items around, what? And I'm starting to think that most people have a lot of stuff. But tell us what should we do? And if we presumably we can still sell stuff that we don't have as well. So what do we do?
Yeah, so there's I'll say gray area in it now, right? Because they're starting to push that they want you to have the physical product in there, or have a lot of knowledge about it, right? And so what they're trying to do is get rid of the deal of the day kind of thing. I don't know what this thing is, but this vacuum's on sale, right? But for the tech, right? Most of my tech that I'm even talking about, I can't even show you because I'm using it. So I can't talk about the camera because I'm looking at it right now. So personally, what I'll do is, and again, in a RESTREAM or ECAMM, I'll screen share and I'll actually show you on the website the pictures. I'll go through and show you where it is on sale, what lenses to put with it. Another cool thing that you can do if you're really good on the recording editing side is record. So if you're already doing YouTube videos about products and you do a recording about the product, feature that recording. It has to be live. So what you'll do is pull it up, hit play on the recording and go, hey, this is a camera review that I did. Let's check it out and talk through the video that you've probably already recorded for somewhere else. So those are a couple creative ways to sell things that you may not physically have or be able to show live on stream.
That's really good. And I think what's really important here, and this is what you said, is you do need to know a lot about the product. Don't just share it and then say, well, I think this has 4 ports, and then you get it wrong because it's actually got 6. There's nothing worse. I remember going into a shop. This was years ago, and I think I was looking at a Mac Mini, and it's when they got rid of the DVD slot, and a friend of mine could tell that the salesperson just didn't know what they were talking about, and they said, where's the DVD slot? And he started to say, I think it's just under here. And he was just making it up. So don't be like that. Don't be like a dodgy salesman. No, just do your research. And the great thing about Amazon is it gives you all the information that you kind of need, so you can become an expert. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so absolutely. Okay, the structure of our live shows. You've done this a lot, and I presumably you've kind of come up really or learned like a structure that works. I've heard that, for example, doing like countdown timers at the beginning isn't like necessarily a good idea. And what are the things we should be doing, and what are the things that we should not be doing on our Amazon Lives?
Yeah. So again, these days they're trying to push you to talk about the product, right? So I have a few friends that they still do kind of like we're doing now. We're doing this podcast, and they'll kind of stream their podcast to the show. What they've started to do is essentially make a portion of the podcast though product centric, so they can talk about the products. For me personally, I start off with a 2-minute timer. I made it transparent though, so it doesn't look like a video, so you can see me moving around in the background with the timer, just so I can kind of build up some hype and get some people watching. And then again, because I think 5-minute is the video limit. If they see a video for 5 minutes, they'll actually cut your stream because it doesn't seem live to them. So I'll do a 2-minute live stream. I'll come in, or 2-minute countdown timer. I'll come in, do all my introductions and greetings. So one trick that I've been doing currently is if you're in the influencer side of Amazon, you can actually start making pre-recorded videos to put on product pages. But the thing about it is they're very strict on what's inside that video. You can't tell people to follow you. You can't have like all the graphics that we would use normally. And so what I started to do is I'll do all of my graphics to let everybody know my socials and the name of the show, all that kind of stuff. Then I'll go to a clear screen, talk about a product, 2, 5, 10 minutes. Like I won't even address the chat in that particular time that I'm talking about the product. So that way I can chop that piece out later. Then I'll go back, throw up my graphics. Cool. Thanks for everybody jumping in, and kind of run through the intro again, answer anything in the comments, questions about that. And honestly, just kind of do that for, 60 to 90 minutes. And then that way afterwards, I can go and chop out all those product pieces and then upload them later as pre-recorded videos to the product pages.
That's awesome. Thank you. That really is something that I want to think about as I go more live to Amazon. I want to structure my shows much more. I want to be a lot more strategic, I suppose. And I love what you're doing there. You're really thinking about the structure, and that's helpful to know. I mean, if with Amazon, you're talking a lot about they're wanting us to do this now, and it sounds like the rules are kind of changing. How do you find out about these things? Is there like a rule book that they send out in the post to you?
They'll send out random emails with the hey, we've updated terms of service, that kind of thing. So we actually run a group for Amazon Live creators. So we try to stay up on it. One of the guys, he's actually in the chat, Monty. He's the leader of the group. He started it, and so he's in connection with a lot of the people over there. So they'll a lot of times send him stuff, and he'll kind of give us a heads up. But honestly, just being in the community, man, because sometimes there'll be stuff that certain other creators will see that we all missed, and they'll just share it in the group, and we'll research it and kind of see. And for us, I mean, it's trial and error, right? This isn't the end all be all to my business. So God forbid I get cut off, right? It kind of is what it is. But, we'll try stuff and just see what happens. And then, you get cut off. You go, hey, guys, don't do this because you'll get cut off.
Yeah, well, it's a case of that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, my goodness. Yep. Because is this like which communities? Is this like a community on Facebook with Amazon creators that you're talking about?
Yep. So it's on Facebook, Amazon Live Creators. It's the first group. It has the most, I think we're almost at 1,000 people now with brands and creators. Because one of the goals, you were talking about money earlier, and part of it is don't also depend on just the money from Amazon, because we know they're only giving you 1% to 4%. So why not get connected with brands that will pay you to live stream? And so you go, hey, I'll talk about your product on a live stream for X amount, and boom, now you have this two thing. I'm getting paid on the front end and the back end. So
that's fascinating. Well, if you've just joined, this is the Confident Live Marketing Show. This is episode 131. I've got Chris Giles on the show to talk about Amazon Live, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about other things that we can do with Amazon Live and some other questions.
You're listening to the Confident Live Marketing Podcast.
So one question I get asked a lot about, particularly from the multi-streaming community, is should we broadcast a dedicated show on the Amazon Live platform, which is purely on products, or is multi-streaming okay? Multi-streaming to YouTube and Facebook, and maybe, for example, this show is not. Sometimes we do talk about products, but sometimes we don't. And so what's your view on this? Should we be focusing just on Amazon Live, or should we be multi-streaming as well?
Man, I think it's again, it always goes back to your personal strategy, right? Because I see some people successfully multi-streaming and they're doing it. But I think what would be good is a mix of it. So if you're already doing other shows and you're like, I'm just going to send it over to Amazon, but making sure that you're at least moving the carousel along, even if you're not specifically talking about the product. So it's not just sitting on one product for the whole hour that you're live, right? But then maybe once a week or twice a week, you go, okay, I have a dedicated Amazon live stream to talk about products. That way, when Amazon looks, they go, oh, okay, they are taking us seriously. They're not just sending it over here to see what happens, right? So that's personally my thing. For me personally, my strategy, my Amazon Lives, I'm just going to Amazon Live because I'm just going to do those product centric. It doesn't really match any of the other content that I'm putting out to just talk about products and sell products. So for me, and then especially when you're doing brand deals that are product specific to things on Amazon, it's a little easier just to do it straight on Amazon and not have to worry about it because you want them to click, right? And so the hard part is if you're doing, we're doing this show everywhere else, and then you go, well, go to my Amazon link real quick and look at the stuff in the carousel, right? It becomes this kind of communicational, language thing that you have to figure out what to say, the difference between follow, subscribe, like on different platforms, So just, I would do 2 separate shows.
Yeah, I think that's smart. And at the moment, I'm dabbling, so I am doing Amazon as an extra. But I think my strategy is probably going to be similar to yours. Is that eventually I think I will just do one Amazon Live show as well as all the other stuff that I do. And one thing, just this, we should have mentioned this earlier. One thing that I found is the comments feature on Amazon Live, but unfortunately it doesn't. It's third-party tools like RESTREAM or ECAMM Live can't see that, so you have to be glued to your phone or iPad screen. I think I'm right in saying that.
Yeah,
you can't.
Yeah,
so you can't highlight on the screen, unfortunately, yet.
No, it takes a lot of fun.
I know. Scott Ayres, love this. I missed this comment before. 99.99% of being a salesman is making stuff up. Tim, you're so cynical. That's so. Yeah, Scott, thank you. Rob is asking, does it connect with my Amazon sellers account? Any thoughts on that? I don't know about Amazon sellers.
So that's a really good question. So when you download the Amazon Live Creator app, it actually gives you options. And so you can join as an influencer, like we are. We're just creating content about whatever. Then there's an option to join as a seller. And so as a seller, you can really only obviously you're only talking about your product. And so one of the things that I usually suggest to sellers, if they don't already have a huge audience or a lot of products, is really to go partner with an influencer. Because, and look, this is the trick, right? And I'm gonna give you guys a little trick on this, is that when we're talking about the insider and the A-list level, if I'm talking about this Sony camera that I'm using right now, and that's in my carousel, I have the potential to still show up on Canon's page and Nikon's page, right? But if you're Sony and you're on your Sony page, you don't have that same opportunity because you can only show up on your products. And so hopefully that answers that question, but that's kind of the differentiation in the thought process.
Oh, that's fascinating. Really, really interesting. Well, I hope that answers your question, Rob. And Scott says, be sure your uploaded product videos don't show the price or mention price at all. What's the reason for that, Chris?
Because so that was when I was saying earlier how I structure and I take down all my graphics and all that. When you go to upload the videos, they're so strict about the video that you upload. Again, they don't want you to shout yourself out. They don't want you telling them your name. No website addresses, and then the pricing, because the pricing changes on the products. They don't want you to say any kind of pricing because it's $19.99, and then people are looking like, no, it's $59.99. Then people go, well, we're not going to buy it because they're priced out, that kind of thing.
Makes total sense. Okay, so when we go live on Amazon, it will appear on the Amazon Live page, and depending on which level you're at, it might appear in other places, which is really cool. Other ways that we can promote our Amazon Lives. Like, for example, with my YouTube Lives, my Facebook Lives, I'll go to social, I'll share it around, I will send it to my email list. Do we do a similar kind of thing when it comes to Amazon Live? So have you got a strategy when it comes to promoting your shows on Amazon?
Oh, absolutely, man. I did literally the same exact way, because though I don't talk the same talk in the other areas, like it's still the same community. Like even on I don't talk tech specifically on my IG, right? I am talking creator life. And so creators need tech. And so I'll still do the same thing. If whatever your little link page is on your Instagram, I'll still have a link in there that takes you straight to my live videos, and then the videos are still there, so people can see the oldest video that you're doing and see that stream. So yeah, you can promote it the exact same way. Tell everybody show up.
That's cool. And of course, people can follow your. I suppose is it your store? I don't know what you call it.
Technically, it's the store or the profile, I guess.
Yeah. So that's something that obviously you can encourage people to do. You can, why not just put it on Facebook and say, hey, look, I'm on Amazon Live. Follow me. I've seen people do that, and don't be shy about doing that, particularly when you're getting started. And then hopefully, once you start to get more on there, you're going to get more followers. And I just realized, I'm only new. Yeah. So this is not, we need a drum roll. Is the drum roll going to work? Do you want to know how many followers I've got? I have 10 followers. Yay!
I love it.
But your thing is, Chris, you started at one point, and you'd have started with presumably one or two, and I'm not going to ask you how many followers you got now, but probably quite a few.
Man, it's funny. I laugh. I don't mind telling people, man. I only have 475 followers over there,
Wow. But
and
that's, yeah,
but
but it's,
we're making money. It doesn't matter about
it,
the followers over there.
exactly. I mean, but this is such an important point because I think there are metrics that are important, and I'm not going to say followers aren't important, but we
Right.
can get obsessed by them. Like at the end of the day, are you making money? Are you?
Right.
You know,
Right.
so that's great. I called that geek video says, and don't say let me know. Is that something that people say a lot? I don't know. And Scott Ez says, what's your storefront link, Ian? That's a good point. How do I find out my store link, Chris?
It should have been when you set it up. So it's going to be Amazon.com/shop
Ah,
probably is it your name, Ian Anderson Gray? Yeah.
yeah. I think the way I'd worked it out is, let me just share my screen. So this is the Amazon Live page there. You can see somebody's going live there at the top, and then creators you follow. So currently, I'm only following. I need to follow more people, but I'm following Jeff C. Scott, I need to follow you. Chris, I need to follow you. But then I can see mine, Confident Live Marketing, and yeah. So it's basically Amazon.com/live/channel/ and a big
Hold on, go down. You see
string of
that
numbers.
the blue one that says view my storefront?
Ah, is that it? There
Yeah.
we
So
go.
that's the simplest way. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Amazon.com/shop/IAGDOTME. There we go.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. And that
And
page is cool, man. At the bottom of that page, your old live, whatever the last live that you did will show up at the bottom of that page.
right, yes.
If you're live currently, it actually pushes it to the top of the page while you're live. So it's pretty
That's
cool.
cool. That is cool. Now, one thing you can do, you can edit your storefront. You can change your logo. Apparently, you can also change the header image here. I just haven't been able to do it. I've been clicking on edit your storefront and it doesn't work. But maybe there's a little bug in there. But we'll get
Yeah.
there eventually.
It took me a while. Just going back and clicking that button, it just wouldn't
I
work for a
know,
while.
I know, but well, hopefully it will work there. Now, Call That Geek video says my conversion rate says it's 16.17%. Is that a good rate or low or high? Any thoughts on this? Because we should probably talk about analytics actually in a second.
Yeah, 16.17. I want to say is actually pretty decent because you get a lot of people. It's kind of like, how the other platforms start out with views, right? And it's like, oh, a view is only if they all they got to do is watch it for 3 seconds, right? So there's one of the metrics on there is muted versus unmuted. And so muted means they can see your video. So if you show up on a product page, they see it, but they don't actually listen to what you're saying, which is the big deal. Is I want you to listen to what I'm saying. That way you'll buy something, right? And so honestly, the conversion on that is actually that's actually pretty decent. I see some people as low as 2 and 3%, but they still making money. So that's the big deal as it is, right?
Absolutely. And I was struggling to find out where we could find the analytics and the reporting of this, and I was looking all over the Amazon website, and then I suddenly realized, the app. And so it's all on the app. So the way you do it is you look at your last live stream. So for example, if I click on this one, and maybe you could take us through some of this. I'm completely new to this, so I don't think I've sold anything on this. But you got to start somewhere. But it talks about your sales, your shipped revenue, your earnings, total views, unmuted views. What are the kind of statistics we should be looking at here?
Yeah, the big one is obviously earnings for me, right?
Yeah, obviously.
But shipped revenue is anything that actually left Amazon. So don't ever. One of the things, it takes 24 hours for it to update. So make sure that you're not like, oh, I just finished. Did anything go? It does take 24 hours to update. Also, keep in mind everything doesn't ship immediately. So your numbers may fluctuate over the next 3 to 4 days if it takes that long to ship. Earnings are going to be what you actually making from that, your cut. Total views is a number that I use because it's a vanity metric. So when I'm talking to brands, I'll use that number. But for us, the total views doesn't really matter, right? What you really want is unmuted views, because
Okay.
that is how many people are actually, they took an extra second to hit the unmute button. So I know we kind of missed that, but one of the things, when you come to their page, you're automatically muted. And so you have to actually take the effort to unmute and hear what the person is saying. And so that is really one of the big ones because for some reason people saw you quietly talking and said they wanted to hear what you had to say. So that's the real tell of what's going on, man.
Thanks for that. That's really helpful stuff. So do look at the analytics. Really, really important. Empress of Earthly Herbal Product says, this is awesome. I'm not the only one. Call the Geek video says, edit the store front keeps taking me to my reports. And that's exactly what happens to me. So I feel your pain with trying to edit it. I think my view on this is I'm not going to get too worried about it. I don't think the cover art, or whatever you want to call it, the header image is going to matter that much. What do you think, Chris?
No, because think about it, right? And you know, like YouTube, you're trying to worry about the cover image because you're competing against other people, right? In that one, you're not competing. One, you're not competing as many people, but two, your show cover art only shows on that Amazon Live page as long as people aren't broadcasting about the same category as you. So for me, tech, there are a bunch of tech streamers on there. So if once mine shows up and my show is over, generally within 3 hours, I'm not on the front page anymore because enough people have started talking about tech and have kind of pushed me off. So I honestly use the same thumb art and just change the title. And I got 4 or 5 that I do, and I just honestly recycle them.
Yeah. Well, why reinvent the wheel? If you've got a strategy that works. Empress of Earthly Herbal Products says, I'm new to this group, and this information is really very helpful to know how to get started. And that's what we talk about on the show, getting started, because we've all got to start somewhere. And I've been very clear about the fact that I'm very new to this, but I'm looking forward to the future on this. I'm excited. So thank you, Chris, so much. What is your Amazon store? What's so we can share it on the screen here.
Hey man, I made it simple, man. Tech Talk with Chris .live.
Oh, that's so we do. Yes, you've actually got a domain name for this. So say that again. Tech
Talk with Chris.
Now that is that's a really good idea to actually get a URL and put it in there. What was it? .live or .com?
Yep. .live.
Yeah. There we go. I put .com in. I can't multitask. That's my problem. And then when we do that, we get this. So this looks cool. And so do check out Chris's storefront on Amazon.com. That looks pretty cool. Cool. Well, we're almost there. Just have you got any final tips on how we can make more money on Amazon Live? You know, if we've just got it getting started with it, we're slowly selling a few products, but how do we take things to the next level? Obviously, we can go to the next level on Amazon, and that's going to help. But are there any other little tips you can share with us?
And honestly, my biggest one, and this is kind of, I'm an advocate for this now, and I know you are just because of your show, right? You're sponsored. Brand deals. Don't get caught up in the 1 to 4% Amazon's giving you. Talk to brands, and honestly, once you start streaming, you'll get people just starting to reach out to you because they go, hey, what is this thing? I happen to see you on there and I sell products. Can we talk? And take good money. Don't take the low money. Like let's build the whole creator economy up and take bigger money. You know, what's it? High tides rise all ships, right? Let's do that. Let's work together.
Absolutely. It's important just not to kind of expect you're going to be paid little money. You've got to think more highly of yourself. And have you got any recommendations on how to approach? I mean, should we wait for brands to approach us, or should we approach them? And how do we do it? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, one of the big things is first go live. Put a couple in there so you actually kind of know, so you can actually know what you're talking about, right? And so for me, then after that, it's strategy, because any company that's on Amazon selling their products, essentially you reach out to them, and 99% of them, you're going to be telling them about Amazon Live because they don't know it exists. Like I said, what is it? 12 people are live on there right now. We don't even know how many streamers actually exist on the Amazon Live platform. And I mean, we're counting, we have 1,000 in the group, and only 10% of them we know actually stream. And so just think of those numbers. And now you go to them and go, hey, have you ever heard of this? Well, you haven't. Guess what? This is what I can do. Show them that you can show up on their competitors page. Show them, the views. Hey, I'm going live this many times and I got these views. Like, sell that, man.
That's so true. I've spoken to a number of brands about Amazon Live, and they'd never heard of it. So there's an amazing opportunity here with this, and thank you, Chris, so much for coming onto the show. Scott Ayres is saying the .live URLs are a great way to drive people to the storefront, and guess what I'm going to be doing after this show? I'm going to be registering myself. I don't quite know what I'm going to do though. I don't know. Can we have the word Amazon in there, or are we not allowed to? I wonder about that.
You know, that's a tricky one. I bought a couple that say Amazon, but when I try to actually send them somewhere, they give me the little alert like this is trademarked.
Yeah, you might. And actually, that is one reason why I'm not streaming this episode to Amazon Live, because the title of this show is How to Get Started with Amazon Live, and Amazon Live don't want you to use Amazon Live in the title. How many times can I say Amazon Live in the same sentence? I don't know. But thank you, Chris. How can people find out more about you? Have you carelessly scattered yourself across the socials on the interwebs? Where's the best place?
Yeah, man. I'm all over, man. Chris P. Giles, the number 1, and I'm there. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can find me there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chris. It's been great to have you on the show. Scott, thank you for that. Yes, and go to name.com to buy them cheap. .live domains, definitely. Love it. Well, thank you, Chris. It's been great to talk about Amazon Live. Let me know what you think about this. Do check out my podcast. It comes out every Friday. This show becomes a podcast every single week. So just go to iag.me/podcast to find out how you can just listen to it and follow me there as well. And of course, next week I'll be going live with this show. We normally go live every Tuesday and Thursday. Next week I won't be doing the Tuesday show, but I'll be doing it on Thursday. So I will see you there. But until next time, I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of Confident Live Video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Confident Live Marketing Show with Ian Anderson Gray.
Make sure you subscribe at iag.me/podcast so you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video.
And until next time,
Toodaloo.